One day after a school shooting took the lives of 4 students in Michigan, ammunition was found at Gregg Middle School in Summerville. The middle school and high school were both on lockdown for a couple of hours today. A local lawmaker has been fighting to get metal detectors in schools now for 3 years. Our Tara Jabor was at the scene this morning. She tells us about the threat, the police response, and why that lawmaker won't give up.
2 Dorchester District 2 schools were under lockdown this morning, Summerville High School and here at Gregg Middle School. Now the school was under lockdown because a teacher found 2 live rounds of ammunition.
I froze. I didn't know what else to think about except just the safety of my son.
Aleksandra Olzcewska panicked this morning when the district called saying something suspicious was found at her son's school.
The school was not answering their phone call. My son was not answering his cell phone. All I know is they found suspicious objects, and I came here.
The Summerville Police Department checked every classroom and office and locked down Summerville High School because of its proximity to the middle school. There were rumors of a threat, but officials say the threat was not credible.
Safety of students, that's going to be our number 1 priority, which is, today was 2 live rounds of ammunition, and you got the response of us out here. There's numerous officers, to include our detectives, walking through the school, so we don't take anything lightly.
All students and staff are safe this time. Since 2018, Rep. Wendell Gilliard says he's been fighting for metal detectors to be placed in all South Carolina schools.
To make a mandate, a statewide mandate for all public schools in South Carolina to go ahead and catch up with technology, because if it's out there, better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
Rep. Gilliard pre-filed a bill this year that will be read in the House the second week of January. He says now is the time to act.
This is the way to show our citizens that we're being proactive. We go through metal detectors every day. When we go shop, we go to the malls, when we go to the airports, when we go to the NFL games.
Over 1,000 South Carolina classrooms started the school year without its most essential element, a qualified teacher. And this number represents more than 50% increase from last year and an 88% increase from 2 years ago. Our Floriana Boardman got to work to see how this shortage is affecting our Charleston schools and teachers. Floriana?
The South Carolina teacher shortage is the greatest it's been in at least 20 years. But this is just the start of the problem. As vacancies increase, the teachers who are still working say they're in strenuous conditions to compensate for the shortage.
You have teachers that are routinely giving up their lunch, their planning periods, before and after school time to provide coverage on duty and to cover classes for teachers that haven't been hired. So this is really reaching a breaking point in our state.
Patrick Kelly of the Palmetto State Teachers Association talks about his concerns for educators. Charleston County School District has 52 classroom vacancies, Dorchester County has 10, and Berkeley County has 9.5. For Patrick Kelly, he fears if the shortage isn't addressed, it'll become a tidal wave that can't stop.
And so I'm fearful that if we don't invest heavily in addressing this in the next 12 months, next year's report is going to show even more stark numbers.
Mev McIntosh says the shortage is nothing new. The Berkeley County English teacher believes the numbers point to a problem teachers have been dealing with for years, and COVID made it worse.
Also have to ask ourselves, simply because there is not an opening or a vacancy per se at a school, that doesn't necessarily mean that they are adequately staffed. We have a number of classrooms that are well over 28 to 30.
McIntosh says a growing number of teachers are leaving because they're finding different industries where they feel valued.
However, those teachers are leaving typically within the first 5 years, even within the first 10 years, and they're going to industries where they know that their skill set is going to be valued and appreciated, respected, and then also compensated appropriately.
The Palmetto State Teachers Association is calling on state lawmakers to focus on policies enhancing teacher recruitment and retention. One idea is to pass a bill that would provide teachers with protected planning time.
Students at the Charleston County School of the Arts unleashed their creative side with a costume and fashion design major. But soon that major may be changing. Our Amy Russo tells us why the principal wants to broaden it and why some students aren't on board.
Creativity, it's what these students live for.
It is a very good program, and I think that it benefits a lot of people.
But now a turn on the catwalk.
kind of spur of the moment. We didn't really know what was happening until we got an email, and she said that they want to turn the fashion major into overall design.
School of the Arts officials say the costume and fashion design major may be redesigned.
One of the challenges we've had is that majors continue to have lower numbers. And so in order to sustain that major and let it go forward, we're looking at ways that we can broaden it and strengthen it and still keep fashion as a part of that design major.
The classes max out at 12. As you can see from these numbers over the last 5 years, not all grades have 12 students. And when that happens,
so then when we have 7 or 8 or 9 students in those fashion classes, it means that another class somewhere else in the school has to make up the difference for those students.
Dr. Cook is now looking into ways to broaden the major to be more inclusive so more students apply.
You're afraid that if the school district does change this degree to just design, that's going to take away from you guys learning as much from your instructors?
Yes, ma'am. We're also worried about space. There really is almost no space.
The principal says she's gotten advice from a top arts school.
We reached out to SCAD, the Savannah College of Art and Design, and said, if you were receiving our students into your design programs, what kind of high school experience would you want them to have? And so the dean of the school said, I really would want them to have a stronger design base so that they know the options and the opportunities out there.
Now students are pleading for one thing.
I would probably ask them to maybe reconsider changing the major and maybe take a look at it for what it is.
Reporting in North Charleston, I'm Amy Rousseau.